Hello and welcome to another World of Warplanes video with me, Sir 10 Death. Today we're looking at the Heinkel He 100 D-1. This plane is not available normally in the tech tree and some would consider it a rare plane. It has, however, popped up as part of this deal today. And Black Friday in the UK and throughout the EU server, you can buy this double package which gets two planes, the Hawker Hurricane I'll be reviewing later, and the Heinkel for £13.23 in the UK, about €15. I'm going to be replaying some footage. I bought this morning, I bought the package to try them out, and I'm going to be replaying some footage in the background while we talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this plane. First thing worth noting then, what's it all about? Well, the Heinkel He 100 D-1, it's a fighter, and it's a German Tier 5 fighter, and we're going to have a look and see how it does here. First thing worth noting is it's pretty quick, and that's probably because it's lightweight. So that's an advantage, it's quick moving. The flip side of being a lightweight quick plane is, look at those hit points, it only has 170. 170 hit points at tier 5 is pretty low, and you will see straight away this can be problematic. You will see evidence of this throughout this video. Having said that, it's also got some of the pros and cons. It's maneuverability. You'll see straight away I'm just trying it out. I'm just having a bit of a fly around, seeing what it does and what it doesn't do. But I took one clip there from an anti-aircraft gun and it's knocked about 10% of my hit points straight off. So I'm just testing it out, getting a feel for the plane, and I'm going to go looking for some targets and see if I can do a bit of damage and see how it does so far. So yeah, it seems to be quite nippy, it's quite maneuverable. Its maneuverability rating, officially speaking, is 925, which is not bad. It's not as good as some others. I recently reviewed the Russian I-180-3, and that has a maneuverability of over 1000, so it's more maneuverable. So we've got some targets here. Let's have a look at this, see how we can do when we approach them. It has got quite an effective boost. It's quite a quick plane anyway, but you can see the boost pushes it well over 600 kilometers an hour, which is quite nice. Problem with this is one of the drawbacks of having a fast plane. A very fast plane means you end up doing little bits of damage because you approach enemies almost too quick. If you drop in behind them, you're rapidly gaining on the back end of them, so you've always got to come at them from a bit of an angle, and that's quite hard to do. Having said that, its speed and its maneuverability are allowing me to quite easily whip around and dogfight. Now, I've got in behind somebody, I'm putting the guns down, guns to work, and it's taking time. It really is taking time, and that's because the guns on this, it only has three. It has three 7.62mm cannons, sorry, 7.92mm cannons, which are extremely rapid firing. They do shoot at 1200 rounds per minute, which is fast, very fast reloading, and you can see they're not overheating, so that's an advantage. But the damage output is minimal. It's just tickling, tickling, tickling. Eventually, yeah, it is getting there. If you can get behind somebody who's looking the other way and stay there for a few seconds, you can pick them off. But this already strikes me as a plane that's far, far, far more likely to get you lots and lots of assisted or supporting damage rather than outright kills for yourself. And that's because you're more likely to do little bits of damage while somebody else finishes them off, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Now you can see I got clipped there by that guy as he went past, and that's me out of there. That's my first sortie over already. It's not bad, it's not terrible. I've only done, what, 1400 combat points. Picked up the 5th class fighter reward, which is alright. I just cut straight back into the gameplay here and see if I can do something else. So I'm getting a feel for the plane now. It's certainly not a bad plane. It has decent mobility. It moves around quite effectively, and it's quite maneuverable. The guns are, however, very, very lacking. This guy is another example of it here. I'm just behind him all this time, going tickle, 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 tickle. Eventually get the kill, but that's taken maybe 7 or 8 seconds sitting behind somebody before I've managed to polish him off. The speed's allowing me to get back into combat quite quickly, which is a nice thing. But yeah, at the minute, I'm certainly not thinking this is a plane I would recommend as something, except for one reason. It's what you can almost call a rare, certainly very uncommon plane, and if you're somebody who's a bit of a collector, and I'll admit that I am, in World of Tanks and Warships and Warplanes, I like to collect things that you don't often see on the battlefield. So as a collector's plane, it might come in useful. Another example here, time it's taken to actually get the kill. And even then I didn't get the kill, I don't think. So, would I recommend it as a choice for a tier 5 fighter, as a premium credit maker? Probably not. There are better ones out there. I would say that the XFL1's a better plane. I would say that the I-180-3 that I reviewed very recently is a better plane. Yeah, there are better premium choices out there. If you like collecting planes, you're into a bit of rarity, maybe not a bad choice. It's okay. It's certainly not a bad plane. You can see it's holding its own. I'm doing all right here. I'm just not doing spectacularly well. It is the first run out on this plane, and it's always not a great idea to judge a plane or tank or ship on a single game. But yeah, my gut feeling is it's not necessarily great. Is it money well spent? I don't know. £13 for two planes, two tier 5 planes. So you're basically saying £6.50 or about €7.50 per plane. Yeah, normal tier 5s are cheaper than that and probably more effective than this. This game here, we're slightly ahead at the minute, and again, I'm just going off looking for targets. I am playing this quite aggressively because it's a fighter, and I wanted to see what it can do by getting stuck into people. Now, here's a perfect example of what happens when the speed overshoots a plane. I get a few shots on him, but not a lot. He's got a lot of hit points, so I maybe do 30 or 40. Bang all the way around these chimneys, and already I'm just having to just try and catch up with him. Well, I'm not trying to catch up with him, I'm catching up too effectively. And maybe that's me, maybe that's because I'm not used to how to fly this plane well enough. But it's something you've certainly got to be aware of. It's not easy to approach enemies from the right angle to be able to really put the damage onto them in an effective way. You've almost got to do what I'm doing here and come at somebody from the side who's distracted. And even then, once again, overshoot, turn back round again to get shots on him. He's actually finished off before I get there. So I'm doing alright here. I've done over 4,000 combat points. And over 2,000 per sortie is normally considered decent. Just not doing amazingly well. I'm just going off looking for more targets here. Anything else worth noting about this? Well, yeah, we've mentioned already it's got low hit points. Maneuverability is decent. Okay, guns are okay. Oh, there's the grade 4 fighter award, which is never a bad thing. Guns are okay, but lacking in damage output. Very fast firing, and they don't overheat, which is lacking output. It's a fast plane, but that borderlines on being a little bit too fast at times. Another example there, few shots done, having to bank around again. So you spend a lot of your time in this aircraft turning and turning and turning to try and get back into a position where you can shoot again. Even though you do have maybe more speed and more manoeuvrability than others, just to actually do consistent damage. I suppose that's the problem. It's to do with consistency. Right. This game now is, we were actually ahead for a very long time here. Now this is the perfect opportunity for this player, is to get behind somebody who you can just track all the way, lock onto them and just start putting little bits of damage. But you only ever chip away people. You don't do vast amounts of damage instantly. I can't foresee there ever really being a situation where you're going to just take somebody from full hit points to empty and kill them off in one single strafing run. I think it's one where you've got to make 2 or possibly 3 passes to do your part. I am over 5,000 combat points now, and just looking for extra kills now as the game works its way towards an end. And turning around here, and then I actually make a catastrophic error coming up soon, which you'll see, which I've left into the footage deliberately, because I'm trying to chase this guy down here, and this really shows off how poor the hit points are, because I'm on almost full, and then in an instant I get torn apart and taken out of the game. Now I've cut straight towards the end now because I quickly looked to see how I did. I did pretty well, not as well as that guy in that P36, but did okay for the first run out to try out a new plane. Done alright. Second overall on the team. Yeah, how do we do there? Flying Start Award. Got the Class 4 fighter, got the Predator award, which is quite a nice one to get. Cut to the end plates, back in the hangar. It made 77,000 credits on a premium account, which is not a bad thing. But other ones, the XFL one that I mentioned earlier and the I-180-3 I mentioned earlier, consistently for me make over 100,000, normally about 110 to 120,000 all the time. So would I recommend this plane on the whole? Unless you're a real collector of rare or uncommon planes, no. There are better ones out there. Save your money, get something else, and you'll probably do better with that and enjoy it more. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As ever, I'll be keeping them coming. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye.